Professional standards are required here, not messy hair like that." Robert Miller's voice cut through the boardroom, sharp and cruel. Laughter erupted, each sound like a needle piercing the young black woman standing quietly with a coffee tray. Her eyes
You
burned as she
have
lifted
no
her
right
head.
to
"You
humiliate
have
me
no right
because
to
of my
humiliate
skin
me
color.
because of my skin color." Her voice trembled, but fire laced every word. Silence, then contempt. Robert smirked, lifted a glass of water, and flung it straight into her face. The icy sting mixed with the
Shut
salt
your
of her
mouth and be
tears,
grateful you
freezing
even
the
have a
room.
job.
"Shut your mouth and be grateful you even have a job," he roared. She stood there, body shaking, not only with humiliation, but with a rage that threatened to ignite everything around her. Humiliated, silenced, and pushed to the edge, but in that moment, she swore she would rise. Keep reading to witness the journey from a woman shamed in public to the one holding the truth that could burn an empire to the ground. Maya Williams stood in her corner office, 40 floors above the city she'd conquered. The mahogany desk held 15 years of awards: Forbes 40 Under 40, Black Enterprise CEO of the Year, Time magazine's Changing the Face of Corporate America. But the numbers on her laptop screen told a different story. Employee turnover, up 340% among minorities. Customer complaints about unprofessional staff, mysteriously increasing. Diversity hiring, down to 3% despite company policy mandating 30%. Something was poisoning her company from within. Her phone buzzed, another anonymous email. "Ms. Williams, you don't know me. I worked in accounting for 3 years, perfect reviews, never missed a day. But after Robert Miller took over our division, everything changed. He said I didn't fit the culture. He meant I was too dark for the clients." Maya's hand tightened on the phone. This was the 47th message this month. All similar, all pointing to the same cancer. She opened another email. This one had an attachment, a photo from last year's company Christmas party, the accounting department. 20 faces, all white. The caption, "Miller's team, keeping it professional." Professional. The word tasted like ash. 15 years ago, Maya had started Technovision Corp with nothing but a laptop and a dream. She'd built it into a $3 billion empire. She'd made it her mission to create opportunities for everyone, especially those who looked like her 8-year-old daughter, Zara. The framed photo on her desk caught the afternoon light. Zara's bright smile, her mother's determination already visible in those young eyes. What kind of world was Maya leaving for her? Her CFO knocked and entered without waiting. Thompson's red face gleamed with sweat despite the air conditioning. "Maya, about these diversity initiatives. The board thinks we should reassess. The clients are complaining about communication issues with our urban hires." Urban, another code word. "The board?" Maya kept her voice level. "Or you and Robert?" Thompson shifted. "The numbers don't lie. Our customer satisfaction drops whenever we increase diversity hiring. It's just business, just business. As if systematic discrimination could be justified by a spreadsheet." After Thompson left, Maya pulled up the real numbers. Not the sanitized reports that reached her desk, but the raw data from HR's servers. Her executive password still worked on the back-end systems. What she found made her stomach turn. Resumes with ethnic names, 85% rejected without review. Employees of color, consistently rated below expectations, despite identical productivity metrics. Mysterious budget line items totaling millions, labeled cultural alignment initiatives. She called her assistant. "Cancel my meetings for the next 2 weeks. Family emergency." But this wasn't about family. This was about the 200 families whose breadwinners had been systematically pushed out. This was about the young black woman in the lobby yesterday who'd left in tears after her interview. This was about the rot that had spread while Maya had been looking at spreadsheets instead of souls. Maya opened her desk drawer. Inside lay her first employee badge from when she'd worked mailroom at Goldman Sachs. Ms. Williams, intern. She'd kept it as a reminder of where she'd come from. Now it would remind her where she needed to go back to. The setting sun painted the city gold, but all Maya could see were the shadows. Somewhere down there, in the cubicles and conference rooms of her own company, people were suffering in silence. Good people were being crushed by bad systems. Her phone rang. Robert Miller's name flashed on the screen. "Maya, heard you're taking time off. Everything okay? You know I can handle things while you're gone. Keep everything running. Professionally." That word again. "I'm sure you will, Robert." Her voice was ice. "I'm counting on it." She hung up. Tomorrow, Maya Williams would disappear. But Maya Johnson would walk through the front door, resume in hand, hope in her heart, and a recorder in her pocket. Sometimes to change the system, you had to see it from the bottom up. The hidden camera in Maya's home office was still recording when she discovered the smoking gun. It started with a simple search through the company's internal Slack channels. Her executive access revealed conversations employees thought were private. Channel after channel of complaints, fears, resignation letters never sent. Then she found it. Number management private. Robert Miller's message from 3 weeks ago made her blood freeze. "Remember, team, we're not discriminating. We're optimizing for cultural fit. If anyone asks, our diversity numbers are low because qualified candidates are hard to find. Stick to the script. The responses were worse. Thompson, just rejected another batch of those applications." The names alone. Shaniqua? Deshawn? Come on. Our clients expect a certain image. Regional Manager Brad Stevens. Had to let 3 more go this month. Used the performance improvement excuse. They can't prove anything. Robert again. Good. Remember, document everything as performance-based. Legal says we're bulletproof as long as we follow the playbook. And if anyone complains, they're not being team players. Maya's hands shook as she screenshot everything, but the worst was yet to come. A video file, shared privately. The timestamp showed last Friday's leadership meeting. Maya had been traveling. Robert had run it. She clicked play. Robert stood at the podium, addressing 50 managers. "Listen carefully, because I won't repeat this. Maya Williams lives in her ivory tower, pushing her diversity agenda. But we know what really works. Our clients don't want to see certain faces representing their accounts. It's not racism, it's business reality. Applause. Actual applause from her leadership team. So here's what we do. We hire just enough to keep the lawyers happy. We put them in back office roles where clients won't see them. And if they complain, we performance manage them out. Clean, legal, efficient." Brad Stevens raised his hand. "What about Maya? If she finds out?" Robert's laugh was cold. "Maya sees what we show her. Pretty PowerPoints, doctored numbers. She's too busy being a celebrity CEO to notice what's really happening. And honestly, I think deep down she knows this company runs better without her bleeding heart policies." The video continued. Charts showing how to legally discriminate, scripts for rejection calls, a whole systematic playbook for destroying careers while avoiding lawsuits. Then came the financial presentation. Thompson at the whiteboard explaining how they'd redirected diversity budget funds. $5 million over 3 years, officially allocated for diversity initiatives, actually funding our real initiatives. Bonuses for managers who maintain cultural standards, settlements to keep the quiet ones from suing, and a nice reserve for our special projects. Someone asked, "Isn't this embezzlement?" Thompson smiled. "It's creative accounting. The diversity programs exist on paper. We just decide how to implement them. Maya signed off on the budgets. She just doesn't know where the money really goes." Maya paused the video. Her chest felt tight. How had she been so blind? Another file, an Excel spreadsheet titled Priority Termination List. 47 names, all minorities, all scheduled for performance-based termination over the next quarter. Sarah Mitchell's name was highlighted in red. Note beside it, Harvard MBA, too qualified, asking too many questions. Eliminate ASAP, Sarah Mitchell. Maya knew that name. Brilliant analyst, 3 years with the company, glowing peer reviews. Currently working in data entry after being restructured. The final document was a contract. Robert and Thompson's signatures at the bottom. A shadow company receiving monthly transfers from the diversity budget. The shell company's registered address? Robert's home. Maya closed the laptop. The office felt suffocating. Her empire, built on principles of equality and opportunity, had become exactly what she'd fought against. How many Sarah Mitchells had suffered in silence? How many dreams had Robert crushed while she'd been giving speeches about corporate responsibility? She looked at the intern badge on her desk. Tomorrow, she wouldn't just go undercover. Tomorrow, she would go to war. But first, she had to disappear completely. Because the evidence was clear. Robert Miller didn't just want to discriminate. He wanted to steal her company from the inside out. The scissors sliced through 15 years of success. Each fallen strand of Maya's salon-perfected hair felt like shedding armor. In her bathroom mirror, a stranger emerged. Gone were the subtle highlights. Gone was the executive polish. "You sure about this?" Her husband, Marcus, watched from the doorway, concern etched across his face. "They're stealing from our employees, from our daughter's future." Maya's voice was steel. "I built this company to change things, not to become another plantation with better PR." She applied the cheap drugstore dye, transforming her carefully maintained complexion into something rougher. The expensive skincare regimen that kept her looking 30 at 45, hidden away. She needed to look desperate, hungry, exactly like what Robert expected from those people. The wardrobe came from Goodwill, a polyester blazer that screamed trying too hard, shoes from Payless, already worn down at the heels. She practiced her walk, adding the slight hunch of someone used to being overlooked. The confident CEO stride had to die. Maya Johnson needed a backstory. Community college degree in business, 3 years of unemployment, desperate for any opportunity. She crafted a resume full of gaps, typos deliberately placed, the kind Robert's team would normally trash immediately. But she added one hook, a reference from a fictional white executive at a Fortune 500 company. Someone Robert would call, someone whose phone would ring at a number Maya controlled. She practiced her voice in the mirror, softer, uncertain, adding the slight stammer of someone afraid of taking up space. "Hello, my name is Maya Johnson. I'm here for the intern position." It sounded nothing like the woman who'd given a TED Talk to millions. Marcus helped her set up the surveillance equipment. Tiny cameras disguised as buttons. A phone that looked ancient but recorded everything in 4K. A USB that could clone entire hard drives in seconds. 48 hours, she told him. That's all I need. Enough evidence to bury them legally. And if they catch you? Maya thought of Sarah Mitchell's name in red, of 47 careers marked for destruction. Then at least I'll know what my employees really face every day. She studied the employee handbook, looking for vulnerabilities. Robert's department had its own floor, card access only. But interns delivered coffee. Interns worked late. Interns were invisible. Perfect. The final touch was the hardest. She removed her wedding ring, the Tanzanite anniversary band, the Cartier watch Zara had picked for her 40th birthday. Her naked fingers looked wrong, vulnerable. She was beginning to understand how her employees felt every day, stripped of dignity before they even walked through the door. That night, she accessed the application system remotely. Maya Johnson's resume went straight to Robert's personal review queue. She watched the digital tracking. He opened it at 11:47 p.m., spent 12 seconds scanning it. Status, rejected. Then she placed the call. Robert's voice slightly drunk. Hello? Mr. Miller? This is James Patterson from Goldman Sachs. I understand Maya Johnson applied for a position. I wanted to personally recommend her. She's exactly the kind of diverse candidate that photographs well for annual reports, if you know what I mean. Robert's tone changed instantly. Of course, Mr. Patterson, we value your recommendation highly. She's grateful for any opportunity. Won't cause trouble, desperate enough to stay quiet. The perfect token, if you understand me. Perfectly. Robert's laugh was oily. We know how to handle her type. Status, interview scheduled. Maya hung up. Her transformation was complete. Tomorrow morning, Maya Williams had a family emergency in Europe. Her out-of-office message was already set. Robert would be in charge. Tomorrow morning, Maya Johnson would arrive at the lobby, resume trembling in nervous hands, hope manufactured in her eyes. The bathroom mirror reflected a woman she didn't recognize, someone who looked like they'd been beaten down by life. Someone Robert would never suspect could destroy him. 15 years ago, I really was her, Maya whispered to her reflection. I just forgot what she could see. Day one started with deliberate humiliation. Johnson! Robert Miller's voice cracked across the intern orientation room like a whip. You're late. Maya checked her phone. 8:58 a.m. She was 2 minutes early. Sorry, sir. The bus. I don't care about your transportation problems. When I say 9 a.m., I mean be ready to work at 8:45. Understand? 20 other interns watched silently. All white except for Maya and one Latino kid who wouldn't make eye contact with anyone. The hierarchy was already clear. You'll be assigned to data entry. Basement level. No client interaction. Robert's eyes swept over her cheap blazer with undisguised contempt. We have standards here. The basement was a fluorescent-lit purgatory. 30 workstations crammed into a space meant for 15. No windows. The air conditioning deliberately set too cold, forcing employees to work faster just to stay warm. Sarah Mitchell sat 3 desks over, Harvard MBA reduced to copying numbers from paper to screen. Her fingers flew across the keyboard with mechanical precision, but Maya caught the tremor in her hands when Brad Stevens walked by. Mitchell! Those reports were due an hour ago. Sir, you only assigned them 30 minutes. Are you calling me a liar? His voice dropped dangerously. That's insubordination. Strike 2. You know what happens at strike 3. Sarah's face drained. No, sir. My mistake. Maya watched Sarah shrink into herself, brilliant mind caged by fear. The hidden camera in Maya's blazer caught everything. Lunch revealed the deeper poison. The executive dining room, visible through glass walls, served sushi and steak. The basement break room had a broken microwave and vending machines that hadn't been restocked in weeks. Don't even think about using the 3rd-floor kitchen, Sarah whispered to Maya. They'll write you up for disrupting client areas. Even though we work here? Sarah's laugh was bitter. We don't work here. We exist here. There's a difference. The afternoon brought worse discoveries. Maya volunteered for overtime, claiming she needed the money. Brad Stevens smirked. Overtime? Interns don't get overtime. You're grateful for the experience, right? She stayed until midnight, watching the executive floor through security cameras on her cloned access. Robert and Thompson in the CFO's office, counting cash. Literal cash. Bundles of it from a safe marked Diversity Initiative Petty Cash. Thompson was recording the serial numbers. Another $50,000 for the offshore account. The auditors will never check the diversity budget. It's political suicide to question it. Genius, Robert laughed. Maya's own progressive policies funding our retirement. She's literally paying us to discriminate against her people. Day 2 started with Sarah crying in the bathroom. Maya found her at 7 a.m., shoulders shaking. They demoted me again, Sarah whispered. I caught an error in Thompson's books. Saved the company $2 million in tax penalties. My reward? Reassigned to coffee duty. Why don't you quit? And go where? They've blacklisted everyone who's left. Robert has connections everywhere. One call from him and you're unhireable in this city. Maya's recorder captured Sarah's breakdown, the tears of a woman whose spirit was being systematically crushed. This wasn't just discrimination. It was psychological torture. The smoking gun came at 3 p.m. Maya was delivering coffee to the boardroom when she heard it. Robert addressing 10 senior managers. The Johnson woman? Perfect example of why our system works. Grateful for crumbs. Won't complain. Won't organize. Keep them desperate and they'll thank you for the abuse. Someone asked, "What about legal risks?" "Please." Thompson pulled up a spreadsheet. "We've settled 17 discrimination cases in 3 years. Total cost, $800,000. Know how much we've saved by suppressing minority salaries? $15 million. The math is simple. Maya's phone, hidden in her pocket, recorded everything. But the worst revelation was personal. The beautiful part? Robert continued. Maya Williams has no idea. She thinks her company is changing the world. Meanwhile, we've turned it into the most sophisticated discrimination machine in corporate America, all perfectly legal, all perfectly deniable. Brad Stevens raised his glass. To Maya Williams, the useful idiot. They toasted. To her, to her blindness, to her failure. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She reviewed the footage. 48 hours of systematic oppression, Sarah's tears, the Latino intern fired for speaking Spanish on break, the disabled veteran rejected for lacking energy. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. I know who you really are. Meet me in the basement. Come alone. S. Sarah Mitchell stood in the dark break room holding a flash drive. Miss Williams. Her voice was steady now. I recognized you yesterday. Your eyes. You can't hide those eyes. Maya's cover was blown, but Sarah wasn't smiling. This drive has 3 years of evidence, every crime, every victim. I've been collecting it, waiting for someone to care. Sarah's tears returned. I thought nobody would ever come. Why didn't you report it? To whom? HR reports to Robert. The board trusts Thompson's numbers. You were too far away to see us drowning. Sarah was right. Maya had been too far away, living in her executive bubble while her employees suffocated below. Help me, Maya said. Help me end this. Sarah handed over the drive. There's a all-hands meeting tomorrow. Robert's going to announce more layoffs. 47 minorities, the final purge. Not if I can help it. Miss Williams? Sarah's voice was small. After you fix this, will you remember us? The ones who suffered? Or will you go back to your tower? Maya pulled Sarah into a hug. CEO and entry-level, powerful and powerless, both crying in a basement break room that smelled like broken dreams. I'll never forget again, Maya promised. Never. Tomorrow would be the revelation, but tonight, in this dark corner of her empire, Maya finally understood the true cost of her absence. The company hadn't just been corrupted. It had become a machine designed to destroy the very people she'd built it to elevate. The executive floor at 2 a.m. was a mausoleum of marble and malice. Maya's intern badge shouldn't have worked, but Sarah's flash drive contained override codes. Every door opened like a confession. Robert's office reeked of whiskey and arrogance. The leather chair still warm from his body. The computer screen locked but not logged off. Maya plugged in her USB device. 60 seconds to clone everything. The files cascaded across her phone screen, each folder more damning than the last. Operation Whitewash. Detailed plans to eliminate minority employees. Psychological profiles on how to break them. Sarah Mitchell marked as priority target, too smart. Diversity slush fund, $5 million. Itemized. Robert's beach house, $1.2 million. Thompson's yacht, $800,000. Brad's Lamborghini, $400,000. all purchased with money meant for inclusion programs. Her hands trembled as she photographed physical documents, signed confessions disguised as memos. Successfully reduced minority workforce by 73% while maintaining legal compliance. Then she found the safe behind the portrait. The combination was pathetic. Robert's birthday. Inside, cash, contracts, and something that made her blood freeze. A suicide note, forged, with her signature. Due to the stress of recent diversity failures, I, Maya Williams, can no longer continue. They weren't just stealing her company, they were planning to steal her life. The door clicked open. Thompson stood silhouetted against the hallway light, holding a golf club. I knew someone was here. His voice slurred with alcohol. Building security shows an intern badge after hours. You stealing, girl? Maya kept her back turned, shoulders hunched in fake fear. Please, sir. I was just cleaning. Cleaning? Thompson stepped closer. At 2 a.m.? Turn around slowly. She turned, keeping her face down, phone recording everything. Maya Johnson. He read her badge, then laughed. The diversity hire Robert let in. Figures you'd be stealing. Your kind always do. I'm not stealing, sir. I left my medication in the break room. My insulin. I'm diabetic. Thompson's grip on the golf club relaxed. Diabetes? Of course. Your people all have that. Bad genetics, bad choices. He moved closer, too close, his breath hot with bourbon. You know what? I'll let this slide. But you owe me. Tomorrow, you're going to do exactly what I say. Understand? Yes, sir. Good girl. Now get out before I change my mind. And Maya, if you mention seeing me here, I'll make sure you never work anywhere again. Your whole family. Destroyed. She scrambled past him, playing terrified. He never noticed the USB in her pocket, never saw the camera in her collar still recording, never realized he'd just confessed to everything on tape. Back in the basement, Maya's hands shook as she reviewed the evidence. $5 million documented, 47 careers destroyed cataloged, a murder plot outlined. But the worst discovery came from Thompson's personal files. An email chain with subject, The Final Solution. Robert to Thompson. Once Maya signs the year-end diversity budget, we execute. Make it look like suicide. Depression over company failures. The inspiring black CEO who couldn't handle the pressure. The media will eat it up. Thompson's reply, the forgery is perfect. I've already drafted the news release. We'll be seen as the heroes who tried to save her. Brad Stevens added, with her gone, we can finally make this company pure. No more pretending. Pure. They used that word. In 2025, in her company. Maya copied everything to 3 separate drives. One for the FBI, one for the media, one for her lawyer. Tomorrow's all-hands meeting would be Robert's triumph. Instead, it would be his funeral. She looked at the timestamp on the murder plot. 3 days from now. They were going to kill her in 3 days. Make it look like she'd cracked under pressure. The dangerous myth of the strong black woman who wasn't strong enough. Her phone buzzed. Sarah Mitchell. They moved up the meeting. Robert's announcing the layoffs at 9 a.m., including me. It's happening. Maya checked the time. 6 hours to prepare for war. She sent one text to Marcus. Got everything. Call the FBI at 8:45 a.m. Tell them to come to the all-hands meeting. Then she looked at the intern badge one last time. Tomorrow, Maya Johnson would die, and Maya Williams would rise from her ashes with hellfire in her hands. The auditorium held 500 employees. Robert Miller stood at the podium, his smile sharp as a blade. As you know, we're restructuring for efficiency. Today, 47 positions will be eliminated. It's not personal, it's professional. Sarah Mitchell sat in the 3rd row, hands folded, waiting for her name. The other 46 sat scattered, all knowing but not knowing. The executioner's list was never published, only performed. "Before we begin," Robert continued, "I want to address rumors about discrimination. Let me be clear. Technovision Corp values diversity. We even have diverse interns." His eyes found Maya in the back row. "Johnson, stand up. Show everyone our commitment to inclusion." Maya stood slowly. The cheap blazer, the worn shoes, everything Robert expected to see. "See?" Robert's voice dripped condescension. "We give everyone opportunities, even those who struggle with basics. Johnson here has been with us 48 hours and still can't figure out the coffee machine." Laughter rippled through the management section, Thompson loudest of all. Maya walked forward, each step deliberate, the terrified intern shuffle becoming something else, something familiar. "Actually, Robert, I figured out a lot more than the coffee machine." Her voice had changed, the stammer gone, the uncertainty evaporated. Robert's smile flickered. "Johnson, sit down. You're embarrassing yourself." "No." Maya reached the stage. "I'm embarrassing you." She pulled off the cheap glasses, unpinned her hair. The posture straightened from hunched to commanding. 500 people leaned forward. "My name is Maya Williams. I'm the founder and CEO of this company. And for 48 hours I've been documenting your crimes." The silence was absolute. Robert's face drained white. Thompson dropped his coffee. Brad Stevens ran for the exit but found FBI agents blocking the doors. "Impossible," Robert stammered. "Maya's in Europe. Maya's right here." She pulled out her phone, connecting it to the presentation system. "And she has something to show you." The screen lit up. Robert's voice filled the auditorium. "Our clients don't want to see certain faces. It's not racism. It's business reality." Gasps from the audience. Sarah Mitchell started crying. Next video. Thompson counting cash. Another 50,000 from the diversity fund. Maya's too stupid to notice. Then the spreadsheet. 47 names in red. The termination list. People recognize their names, their friends, themselves. "But wait," Maya's voice cut through the shock. "There's more." The murder plot email appeared, 20 feet tall, every word visible. "Make it look like suicide. The black CEO who couldn't handle pressure." Someone screamed. Security moved toward Robert, but he backed against the podium. "These are fabrications!" "Deep fakes. She's lying." Maya pulled out the physical contracts. "Your signature, Robert. Your offshore accounts. $5 million stolen from diversity programs. Should I continue?" "You can't prove." "Actually, I can." FBI Special Agent Martinez walked onto stage. "Robert Miller, David Thompson, Brad Stevens. You're under arrest for embezzlement, conspiracy, and attempted murder." Thompson tried to run. 2 agents tackled him. Brad Stevens fainted. But Robert stood frozen, staring at Maya with pure hatred. "You destroyed everything," he hissed. "This company was better without your kind." "My kind?" Maya stepped closer. "My kind built this company. My kind made you rich. My kind trusted you. And you repaid that trust with betrayal." She turned to the audience. 500 faces staring back. Some crying, some angry, all waiting. "For 3 years, these men terrorized you, stole from you, destroyed careers and dreams. I failed you by not seeing it, but I see it now." She found Sarah Mitchell's face in the crowd. "Sarah, come up here." Sarah walked to the stage on shaking legs. Maya took her hand. "Everyone on the termination list, stand up." 47 people rose. Black, brown, Asian, disabled, different, all marked for destruction. "You're not fired. You're promoted, effective immediately." Robert laughed bitterly. "You can't just—" "I can. I'm the CEO, the real CEO, the one who remembers why we started this company." Maya faced him one last time. You're done, Robert. Your access is revoked. Your equity is forfeit. Your crime will be your legacy. The FBI dragged him away. His final words, "This isn't over." Maya looked at the badge in her hand, the intern badge that had unlocked the truth. "You're right, Robert. It's just beginning." She turned to the audience, her employees, her responsibility, her family. "Tomorrow we rebuild. Not just policies, but trust. Not just diversity, but dignity. And we start by listening to voices we've ignored too long." The applause started with Sarah, spread to the 47, erupted from 500 throats. Maya Williams was back, but Maya Johnson's lessons would never be forgotten. The boardroom had never seen anything like this. Maya stood at the head of the table, but the seats weren't filled with executives. They were filled with victims. Sarah Mitchell sat where Robert used to sneer. The Latino intern, Miguel Rodriguez, occupied Thompson's chair. 47 survivors of corporate warfare, now holding the power to rebuild. "First order of business," Maya announced. "Full financial audit. Every penny of the $5 million gets returned. Not to the company, to you." Sarah's voice was steady now, Harvard MBA finally unleashed. "Based on the forensic accounting, each affected employee is owed average back pay of $106,000. That's stolen overtime, suppressed salaries, and denied bonuses." "Pay it," Maya commanded. "Today. No paperwork, no delays. Direct deposit by close of business." The interim CFO nodded, fingers flying across his laptop. Within minutes, phones around the table buzzed with notifications, 6 figures hitting accounts that had struggled for years. Miguel Rodriguez stared at his phone. This is more money than my father made in his lifetime." "It was always yours," Maya replied. "They just stole it." Next came the structural changes. Maya pulled up a new organizational chart. "Sarah Mitchell, you're our new Chief Diversity Officer, not a token position. You'll have veto power over every hire, every promotion, every termination. No one moves without your approval." Sarah's tears were different now. Tears of validation, not defeat. "Miguel, you're heading a new department, Internal Justice. Your job is to investigate every complaint, no matter how small. You report directly to me, bypassing the entire management structure." Around the table, Maya assigned new roles. The terminated became the leaders. The silenced became the voices. "But what about the others?" someone asked. "The ones who stood by and watched?" Maya pulled up another list. 200 names. The silent enablers. The ones who'd laughed at Robert's jokes, ignored the suffering, chosen comfort over courage. Mandatory re-education. Not sensitivity training, truth training. They'll spend a month in the basement, doing the jobs they thought were beneath them. They'll experience what you experienced. And if they can't handle it, they're gone. The door opened. A delegation of clients entered, led by Richard Blackstone, CEO of their biggest account. "Maya, we're concerned. We heard about the arrests, our conservative shareholders. Are welcome to leave." Maya's voice was steel. "Technovision Corp will no longer hide its values to appease bigotry. If that costs us clients, so be it." Blackstone's face reddened. "You'll lose billions." "We already lost something worth more. Our soul. Get out." As Blackstone stormed out, Sarah whispered, "Maya, he's 30% of our revenue. Then we'll find better clients. Ones who don't require us to betray our people." The rest of the day was revolution in action. Every policy rewritten, every bathroom made gender neutral, prayer rooms for all faiths installed, wheelchair ramps that actually worked, not just passed inspection. The old employee handbook, 300 pages of restrictions, was replaced with one page, "Treat everyone with dignity. Produce excellent work. Everything else is negotiable." By 4 p.m., the transformation was visible. The basement windows painted over for years were scraped clean. Light-flooded spaces that had been dungeons. The executive dining room became an all-staff cafe. The CEO's private elevator was made public. Maya called a second all-hands at 5 p.m. The auditorium was packed again, but the energy was different. Hope instead of fear. "I'm implementing a new policy," Maya announced. "Radical transparency. Every salary, from mine to entry level, will be public. Every decision will be documented. Every complaint will be addressed within 24 hours. She pulled up her own salary. "I make $50 million a year. That's obscene. Effective immediately, I'm cutting it to $1 million. The remaining $49 million will fund employee development, not executive excess." The room erupted. Not just applause, but tears. Hugs between strangers. The Latino janitor embracing the white secretary. Barriers crumbling in real time. Sarah took the microphone. "I have something to say. For 3 years, I thought I was alone. I thought my suffering was unique. But Maya Johnson showed me we're all in this together. And together, we're unstoppable." The crowd roared. Maya Johnson, the intern who saved them all. Maya looked at the intern badge one last time, then handed it to Sarah. "Frame this. Put it in the lobby. Let everyone who enters know that the smallest voice can topple the biggest tyrant." As the celebration continued, Maya's phone buzzed. A message from the FBI. Robert Miller attempting plea deal, offering to expose similar operations at 12 other companies. Maya smiled. The revolution wasn't ending at Technovision. It was just beginning. She looked at her transformed company, at Sarah's confident smile, at Miguel's proud posture, at hundreds of employees finally free to be themselves. "This is what power is for," she whispered. "Not to dominate, but to liberate." Tomorrow would bring challenges, lost clients, market volatility, resistance from old guard investors. But tonight, in this auditorium of dreams reborn, anything was possible. 3 months later, Technovision Corp. didn't look the same. It felt different, sounded different, breathed different. Sarah Mitchell stood in what used to be Robert's office, now transformed into the Diversity Command Center. The walls, once adorned with golf trophies, displayed faces, every employee's photo, regardless of position, forming a mosaic that spelled equality. "Maya, look at this," Sarah called out, holding the latest report. "Employee satisfaction up 400%. Productivity increased 67%. And we've received 12,000 resumes this month. Everyone wants to work here now." Maya smiled from the doorway, no longer in designer suits but comfortable clothes that let her sit on the floor with junior developers. "What about the clients we lost?" "Replaced by better ones, companies that share our values. Revenue is actually up 18%. Down in the former basement, now called the Innovation Hub, Miguel Rodriguez was mentoring the newest intern class. 30 faces, black, white, brown, every shade between. A young woman in a hijab raised her hand. "Mr. Rodriguez, is it true you were almost fired for speaking Spanish?" Miguel's laugh was warm now, not bitter. 3 months ago, yes. Today, we have a language bonus program. Speak more languages, earn more money. My mother, who cleans offices at night, makes more than some managers now." The girl smiled. "My grandmother only speaks Arabic. Can she apply? Send me her resume. We need wisdom more than degrees." In the cafe that replaced the executive dining room, Maya sat with Jerome Washington, the 60-year-old janitor who'd worked there for 20 years. Today, he wore a different uniform, senior facilities director. "Never thought I'd see this day," Jerome said, his eyes misty. "Robert used to make me clean his shoes while he watched. Said it built character. Now I'm redesigning the entire building layout. My ideas, my vision." "You always had the vision, Jerome." We just finally started looking. Across the room, a scene that would have been impossible 4 months ago. A white male manager, previously part of Robert's inner circle, was taking notes as a young black woman explained coding architecture. He'd requested to be her mentee after realizing how much he didn't know. Sarah joined them for lunch, her confidence now natural, not forced. "Maya, remember when you found me crying in that bathroom?" "How could I forget? Yesterday, I found someone else crying there, Lisa from accounting. She'd been hiding her pregnancy, terrified of being mommy-tracked. I told her about our new policy. 18 months paid parental leave for everyone. She cried harder, but happy tears. Lisa walked by their table, her pregnancy now showing proudly. She'd been promoted to senior analyst last week. The afternoon brought unexpected joy. A delivery arrived, a massive banner from the Black Excellence in Tech organization. Company of the Year, Technovision Corporation, for proving change is possible. But the most powerful moment came at 4 p.m. Maya was walking through the Innovation Hub when she heard singing. Gospel music, soft and beautiful. She followed the sound to find a group of employees in the break room. All colors, all backgrounds, teaching each other songs from their cultures. Sarah was learning a Nigerian folk song from a daisy in IT. Tom from sales was sharing an Irish ballad. Miguel's mother, now working days in customer service, was teaching everyone Cielito Lindo. "This," Sarah whispered to Maya, "this is what we were fighting for. Not just jobs, but joy. Not just equality, but community." Maya's phone buzzed. An email from Zara, her 8-year-old daughter. "Mom, my teacher says you're a hero." I said, "No, you're just doing what's right. Love you, just doing what's right." From the mouths of babes. As the sun set over the city, painting the office golden, Maya stood at the window that used to be Robert's power perch. But she wasn't alone. Sarah stood beside her. Miguel, too. Jerome. Lisa. Adaeze. Tom. All of them together, looking at a future they were building with their own hands. "We did it," Sarah said softly. "No," Maya corrected. "We started it. The real work is keeping it alive." Sarah held up the framed intern badge now hanging on the wall. "Maya Johnson will always be watching." Maya smiled. "Good. She sees things Maya Williams might miss. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, in this tower of transformed dreams, hope wasn't just a word. It was a sound. The sound of 500 voices, finally free to sing. The 40th floor felt different now. Maya Williams stood at the same window, watching the same city. But everything had changed. The intern badge sat on her desk, encased in crystal. A reminder, a warning, a promise. Her phone lit up with messages. 12 other companies requesting consultation on the Technovision model. Robert Miller's testimony had exposed a network of corporate discrimination spanning the Fortune 500. The revolution was spreading. Sarah entered without knocking. They'd eliminated that power play months ago. "CNN wants an interview. They're calling you the CEO who went undercover and changed corporate America." "Tell them no. This isn't about me. It's about the 47 who almost lost everything. The hundreds suffering in silence. The thousands still trapped in toxic companies." Sarah nodded, then paused. "Maya, there's something else. Remember that suicide note Robert forged? The FBI found 6 others at different companies. 6 CEOs who actually died. All women, all minorities. Maya's blood chilled. They'd almost made her number 7. "We were lucky," Sarah continued, "but how many weren't? How many Maya Johnsons never got the chance to become Maya Williams again?" The question hung between them like a prayer for the dead. Maya turned to face the camera she knew was there, the one documenting everything for the company archive. She spoke not to it, but through it, to everyone watching, reading, listening to this story. Right now, in your company, someone is crying in a bathroom. Someone is being paid less for the same work. Someone's dreams are being crushed because of how they look, who they love, where they come from. She picked up the intern badge. You might not be the CEO. You might not have power. But you have eyes. You have a voice. You have a choice. Look around. Document everything. Speak up. Don't wait for someone else to go undercover in your office. Be the Maya Johnson who sees what others ignore. Because the question isn't whether discrimination exists in your workplace. The question is, what are you going to do about it? The badge caught the light, throwing rainbows across the wall. Sometimes saving a company means being willing to lose everything, even yourself.